we've seen the lone druids be very, very hard to deal with in whatever lane it is, be it off, safe, or mid. It is going to be a bit annoying. I feel like Chaos will have to invest the resources to slow down this lone druid or the troll. They can't slow down both. They can't afford to split up their supports again because the effectivity of their ganking potential just kind of goes down when you kind of split them up. You want Misery and King RD to be applying pressure together around the map with whatever course they're lined up with. And that does mean you can only really slow down one hero, in this, one lane, really. So the choice is down to either slow down 33's Lone Druid or slow down Ace's Troll. Those are the two key heroes you have to aim for. And I'm just kind of curious which one Chaos will attempt to go for, or if Chaos actually just tries to win every lane again. We saw that in Game 1 where they split up their supports, and quite frankly, it didn't work out well. So I'm interested to see if they go back that route. It does look like they might be committing a bit more onto that top lane, though.
Certainly does for the moment. Of course, Misery going to be on that Tiny. If he can be as frustrating as he was on the Nyx Assassin, this could be looking pretty darn good for the Radiant. Again, they are up against the clock, though. The TA and Ursa do eventually drop off. You can't let this drag out too long if you're on the side of the Radiant. Of course, NiP can relax a bit more. They have much better options throughout that late game. And in fact, they are going to find HFN early on. Nice little stun there from Saxa. Fighter will be there with the follow-up Burrow Strike. It shouldn't lead to a kill, though. There's some nice body blocks coming out, which will allow the next Light Strike array. And HFN, he's going to be the first blood going to the way of NiP. Fighter with those body blocks just doing a fantastic job and allowing Saxa to ensure he lands that second stun.
I mean, the one good thing for Chaos in that case is at the very least, HFN didn't waste regen to try to keep himself alive. So I guess that's one thing. It does allow him to go back and buy another set of tangos. It looks like he is expecting a bit of a hard time in this lane, as it looks like Chaos will want to contest top lane a bit more. So they are going to commit their supports up top, and HFN is going to have to cop a really hard lane here.
Or at the very least, 9 tangos. He is set up for a pretty difficult lane. Looks like Saxa is going to stick around in that mid lane and see if he can get a nice courier snipe off before Weeha can get his bottle up. Ace is going to show himself on that troll in the mid lane. PPD as well. Going to give him a nice little Thunder Strike to say hello. Looks like 33 will actually be on the lone druid in the safe lane. So they do switch things around quite a lot here. The only person really against 33 is Misery right now in that Tiny. Tavo has just committed to going ahead and creep skipping with the Iron Shell, trying to force those creeps underneath the tier 1 tower. Though with that Spirit Bear, you do have that tank ability where you can just essentially let the bear tank up all the damage from the creeps and still be able to find those last hits pretty decently.
Yeah, the creep skipping in this case is really not going to hurt the Lone Druid too much. Again, as you mentioned, it's probably one of the heroes that doesn't care too much to lose out on its creeps. The bear can tank fairly well early on, so 33 is probably not going to feel the pressure too much. It is a bit annoying to last hit under tower, but beyond that, he is pretty much fine with this laning situation right now.
Oh, King RD in a lot of trouble. One more click and it will do it. Fighter, he finds another kill with this bot lane. HFN trying to find the trade, but couldn't quite get there. Meanwhile, mid lane, Weeha actually ends up going down. PPD setting up with a nice kinetic field and a Thunder Strike. The refraction just ends up melting. So a 0-3 already for the side of NiP. John, to make matters worse, that Oracle death down at the bot lane, he did try to salve himself up as he was running, and so it wasn't just the death that occurred, but he did end up wasting an extra 100 plus gold on that salve.
Yeah, it's going to be small mistakes like this is going to be really costly for either side. And Chaos losing Weeha again this early on, it's not going to be nice. The TA can play bounce back quite well, but it's a very momentum-based hero, a very snowball hero. If you die too much in that laning phase, you're going to have to ask for a lot of time from your team to farm back up. And you're, with a hero like TA, you set the tempo.
Tavo copying a lot of harassment here from PPD. Does have the Surge available though, so it still feels pretty darn safe. But now, there will be a rotation as well from Misery just to make sure he's okay. It doesn't look like 33 struggled too much so far as well. If you look at that lone druid, 14 last hits. Of course, he is naturally going to be behind the Darkseer because of that creep skipping. But at the very least, for the moment, he does seem to be pretty relaxed. The creep skipping isn't affecting him too badly at all.
Yeah, again, just, he's one of the heroes that really doesn't care for it. Just doesn't mind at all. In fact, I think he's happier with that instead of being pressured by this tiny and by the combinations that he could throw out.
Well, Misery does throw out an avalanche top lane. 33 will go ahead and try to punish a bit with the Spirit Bear in his own right clicks. Of course, that Orb of Venom slow does help out just a bit. You can see the priority here from Misery, just making sure he tries to slow this down a bit. Meanwhile, Tavo actually getting body blocked up from PPD. Does cop a fair bit of damage, but is going to be able to walk out. Does have a Salve and Tangos available as well, so going to be no real issue for him. He's got plenty of recovery items to make sure he can stay around the lane. But again, the main source of pain here for Chaos is they're not able to shut this man down.
I think you kind of have to accept that point. Just 323 is not going to be shut out of this lane anytime soon. He's just fairly tanky. He has the bear. Creep skipping won't change a thing, and you might as well find as much farm as you can with his Darkseer. So if they are doing that, it does feel like they could be applying a bit more pressure by just giving Misery, having him rotate somewhere else to apply a bit more pressure to that map. Maybe that bot lane, you might be able to get some work done by, getting some good initiation there, but... Oh, Misery?
Kinetic Field is nice from PPD, though. The uphill miss, it won't matter. PPD will end up finding him. So Misery just sticking around a bit too long with low HP and will end up losing his life. I was just going to direct your attention towards the mid lane, where Ace has really been conquering this this lane pretty easily. 21 last hits in comparison to the 14 of Weeha on that TA. And it's not something you see every day that a TA falls behind in the mid lane in terms of last hits, but Ace has been doing a very, very good job of it.
He definitely has. It's he is dominating in terms of last hits. The one issue is that most of his net worth has gone into regen, but drawing even with a TA just slowing down that early timing is pretty pivotal.
Well, to make matters worse, they lose HFN at the bot lane. Not the greatest news, though at the very least, it looks like the banner may have been denied there. Fada, he'll go and claim one for himself, but Chaos Esports will manage to get two up at the top lane. They did also, of course, find the trade on the Lina, but it's certainly not worth losing your Ursa, though. Ace mid lane, that's a big pickup if they can find it, but again, PPD in the right position. He will find a nice kinetic field, and again will find Misery on that Tiny. Just barely making sure Ace is able to walk out of there. I believe he was on about 80 HP before he walked out, and well, now he has a nice little shrine there to go back to.
Yeah, just really good rotations coming out from NiP this game, and just managing to save the course where they can. Ace has dropped so low the past, just in the first 5 minutes. Like, there were definitely a few moments where it felt like he should have been dead. But the response from NiP to back him up, make sure that he doesn't drop, and just give him enough time to really just take over this lane has paid off. It does look like, at this point, level 6, the TA does come online and can clear out waves quite fast, can dip in and out of that jungle as well, so Weeha will start to climb up a bit in terms of last hits, but Ace has done the best as he could in the early parts of this lane at the very least.
Speaking of last hits, how is 33 on top of the last hits board and ahead of the Darkseer right now? They are going to make a jump here, though Fear is there, and well, they really couldn't break the distance. Now the root coming out from the Spirit Bear, though. Misery, he's had enough of the Spirit Bear. He just tosses him back to the Master. But 33 is... apparently the Darkseer did absolutely nothing to him. He is just looking fantastic right now.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't mind. And, at this point in the game, level 7, he can actually just ditch the lane, start jungling by himself, get some safe farm going, just make sure that Chaos can't get an opening on him. And that could be costly here for Chaos, as, again, they have a lineup that does come online fairly fast. It doesn't feel like they've found a footing on this game just yet. They're not bleeding ground, but they're certainly not paving the way here.
Yeah, well, on the brighter side for the Radiant, at the very least, they are getting farm on the Ursa and the Darkseer. Though it looks like Misery's life is forfeit here. The root coming out from the Bear, just keeping him in place. Tavo, he did go for the Surge, but the root was just lasting way too long. And now Tavo going to get spotted out by the Bear again. And it looks like he will get another root on the Darkseer. And now Sarx is there with the follow-up stun. Surge is going to wear off, but the Fear was there anyway. And, well, where the hell do you go now? Absolutely nowhere but down. Meanwhile, down at the bot lane, they do end up finding PPD, and that was actually a killing spree being given the way of Weeha, so that is one nice little positive coming out from Chaos.
It certainly is, but it's very rare you see games like this where the lone LD can do so much work by himself up against a dual lane, and that's a bit worrisome for Chaos. They definitely have not gotten that rock solid start with their supports, which you kind of want to see when you have a Tiny and an Oracle. Just that burst potential coming out early on, not really coming online, Mike.
No, certainly not. Though, of course, we do have to wait for HFN and Weeha to be ready to rotate, and it certainly is a bit too early for that. Should give him at least another few minutes before they're ready to go. And Misery, King RD, gonna smoke their way into the mid lane, but nobody there from the side of NiP to actually go for. Ace is going to be in the jungle for the moment. Now, if they do wrap around, the smoke would be broken and the Observer Ward would catch them out anyway. So it looks like they're rather just going to decide to go up to the top lane, where hopefully they can find themselves a target.
They do, at the very least, they managed to plant a fairly deep ward and block out that camp, so they will slow down the farm a bit and should be able to spot out any sort of rotation into the jungle.
Well, they find PPD. Ace is there to help if necessary, though Weeha now shows up as well. Ace will not even move. He keeps farming up. And the nice pick-off coming here for the side of Chaos, though the problem really is that was a fair bit of time being wasted by the supports for that kill. They obviously were looking for Ace on the Troll Warlord, but just had to settle for whatever they found.
Yeah, not the ideal target coming out for Chaos, but I believe that warding run does pay off by itself. You're going to see Ace dip in and out of that jungle area quite often, and at some point they should be able to make use of that ward and punish that movement.
Well, mid lane, a lot of tower damage being done here by Weeha. Ace, though, will return to the lane and ensure, at the very least, he stops any further damage from occurring. Fada, Epicenter being channeled. He's going to have a go here at King RD. Won't get any damage off, however, and now Misery comes in with the Avalanche Toss, and PPD just disappears. Fada now going to try and reinitiate onto King RD once again. He does get the Burrow Strike off, but now Weeha's jumping in. King RD is still alive throughout all this as well, and it looks like HFN's going to join the party. And with that, 2 heroes going down, and this is what Chaos Esports really needed, is to just find these pickoffs. And if they can do that a couple more times, they'll be in a very nice position.
Yeah, it's certainly paying off this, just those 2 kills, all the kills they've found so far, even if it has been on sports, it's something that Chaos needs to really pick up their own momentum. And they certainly are starting to find it back. 5 to 8, 10 minutes in, less than 1k network lead for NP, so it's not the worst case scenario for Chaos, and they have a lot of room to really start catching up here.
Only concern really is, again, you look to that top lane, Midas is already up on 33, and he's getting rather close to a Sacred Relic now. Tavo is going to show himself at the top and defend his tier 1 tower. But this man is currently 2k ahead of the next person in terms of the net worth graph. So that is going to be the one issue here, it seems, for Chaos. Just trying to deal with this lone druid. And Tavo, again, going to show his face, but he needs a bit more help to actually have a chance of taking this man down.
You know, on the other hand, you were mentioning that it's riding on 3-3. That could also be a con. Like, the moment 3-3 dies, that's a lot of your advantage just kind of bleeding away slowly. So you will want 3-3 to stay alive as much as possible if you're NiP.
Well, speaking of staying alive, he's in a bit of trouble now. Avalanche will be there. Toss from Misery, though PPD will show up. Kinetic Field will ensure they can't chase any further, and now Ace will come in. They do get a glimpse off that they're chasing Misery for the moment, and everyone ignored Tavo. And it looks like both sides will survive with absolutely every hero. Nobody will actually end up dying at all.
Except Weeha. No.
Meld.
I guess that's fine.
Meld is there. Nope, Light Strike Array. We'll find it. It's only so long he could have sat there without the refraction up. And well, nice pick off. It looks like Fada was the one to actually set that one up.
Yeah, nice kill for NiP. Something that they did need. They will have to watch out for Weeha kind of snowballing out of control, as is the tendency of TAs. Feels like there isn't too many great wards from NiP this round. Not really watching that jungle, not managing to control the farming patterns of Chaos, which might be costing them later on if Chaos can maximize their jungle farm. It's going to be a bit costly for NiP as, again, TA clears out these camps quite fast. And that does mean she can catch up quite fast, build up that Desolator soon, that Blink Dagger soon, and once that's up, Weehaw will be a major threat for your backline.
Chaos gonna claim the mid tier 1 tower. Nice pick from them again. It opens up the map. That'll be actually the first tier 1 going down across the map as well for either side. And with that, they roam straight into the dire jungle. They still do have those deep observer wards. In fact, they're de-warding as we speak. And they look to see if they can take control of this game. This is probably the most even game we've had so far as well. The net worth is just bouncing around between the two teams anyway. Again, only one tower going down so far, though Weehaw will go ahead and take the tier 1 top tower as well. NiP not really able to respond to this at all. It looks like they were going to try and pressure the tier 1 mid, but they don't get that done, and now Chaos, they jump straight into the Roshan pit, which they can do because they have an Ursa.
Yeah, this is getting a bit worrisome for NiP. They are bleeding away, a little bit of map control with that tier 1 mid. That does make this Rosh really easy to take. No instant spawn, no instant TP point, just means you take this Rosh fast. And it's a bit worrisome. Weehaw now, having that Blink and the Aegis, gonna be really hard to deal with for the next few minutes.
Well, Blink also being brought up on Fada on that Sanking, so you do have some nice initiation from him, but I certainly agree that that concerning Aegis is going to be there on Weehaw, and he's going to feel a lot safer to be able to dive deep and try to really go for those hero kills. Finding himself almost at level 12 as well. Aether Lens now, though, will come out on Saxa, and in fact, Weehaw, Refraction Meld was there, and he does actually get himself out just in time. Blink Dagger already paying off for the TA.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a hard time to catch this hero out. There's no instantaneous stuns from NiP, which will cause issues unless they can get a good jump on him. Or, if they have Fata hanging out in the trees, catching him by surprise with a Burrow Strike. But beyond that, just walking around, especially when you're smoke popped like that, going to be a hard kill, for sure.
Misery gets the hell away from that bot lane and does end up saving his own life. NiP, it feels like they're desperately trying to find something across this map, but they're not finding anybody. Just roaming that Radiant jungle, placing those deep wards. It looks like one of those observer wards was scouted out by the Radiant observer. And so expect that one to disappear as well. That's only going to further the map control here from Chaos. 33 does have the Sacred Relic up now, is going straight into that Radiance, and will have it very, very soon. It does go back to that point you made, though, where all the eggs are basically in 33's basket, and if he does drop the basket, it's not going to end too well for NiP.
I mean, we've seen it before, right? We've seen Lone Druids just kind of AFK farm for the first 20 to 30 minutes, then bounce back in, take all the towers, and suddenly turn the game around. It certainly can happen. But the moment 33 missteps just a bit, the moment that Chaos catches him out, it's going to be a very costly death. You do have some ways of, they are starting to split the wealth a bit. Ace is working towards that Battle Fury to speed up his own farm.
Well, a lot of commitment down in the bot lane. Epicenter and Laguna Blade being committed to be able to take down Misery's Tiny. Does feel just a bit desperate though. Top lane, this could be a massive one. Weehaw will get caught out. He still does have the Aegis, but look at those body blocks from Fada. False Promise though will come in from King RD, and he just makes sure that Aegis does not go anywhere. Though they have found the Darkseer. Weehaw jumps back in, but there's the Aegis gone. The False Promise actually just wearing off, and that was all that was necessary. Now the Burrow Strike as well, just holding down that Ursa. Can they actually be able to take him out? HFN being surrounded now. They're still also going after King ID as well. They do get one important core in the Ursa, and it looks like that may just be it. Though Weehaw is going to wait around. Traps are being set. He probably thought about making a jump onto Fada, but wasn't worth the risk without that Aegis, and they will back off after losing the Ursa.
Yeah, that's a bit unexpected, losing the Aegis like that, I have to say. I figured Weehaw might have gotten enough regen back, but it looks like the Oracle couldn't really focus on applying all those purifying flames, so A bit of a... Ooh. Yeah.
Burrow Strike comes out, and they do end up finding Weeha, and that's a massive pickup. A lot easier than you'd expect as well, but he just didn't have the refraction available.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing, right? Now that Fata has that blink, it makes it much easier for him to catch out Weeha. And as long as you can get that instant stun on him, there's really not much he can do.
To make matters worse, with that Radiance evasion coming in for NiP, Chaos, I mean, they rely so heavily on right clicks that they will find PPD mid lane at the very least. So nice little play there from Misery. He did just pick up his Blink Dagger and does go for an immediate surprise reveal. There is quite a bit of pressure on him to try and slow down this Dire's side just a bit more so his team can regain that momentum that they had just a moment ago.
We are reaching the point where Chaos does need to take control in the game. We have the Battle Fury up on Ace. We have 33 who has been, doing a lot in this map, just farming and still finding kills. As you delay this game, these cores will take over. And they have the tools to do it as well.
Well, it looks like Weeha's just trying to focus on getting that BKB first before he does try to go for anything else in this map, and that's fair enough because a lot of these stuns coming out from NiP are rather frustrating to deal with when you're just trying to right-click some heroes. Of course, that Static Storm as well is a real problem here for the TA. Though it does look like NiP are going to try and apply some pressure with this smoke. Smoke is broken on the Spirit Bear though, thanks to Tavo. Misery. In a bit of an awkward spot, but doesn't get scouted out yet. Looks like the Dire side will just try and focus down that tier 2 tower a bit, down to the bot lane. And as it stands, it looks like Chaos probably aren't going to be there to defend. They're probably just going to allow this one to go down. They must realize by this point as well, they are slightly behind. And again, they're just trying to get those BKBs up before they really want to reinitiate.
It's a fair choice to make. They probably couldn't really contest without those BKBs. They managed to get the trade up top anyway, so it's not the biggest loss in the world for Chaos.
Misery will get caught out. This will be a nice little support tiny kill. He still has a fair bit of HP though, but here comes the rest of NiP to ensure this kill gets taken. And it will be. That does buy time, however. HFN, he does have his full BKB up now. And you can see Weeha not too far away himself. He just needs to pick up that BKB recipe. It's pretty much already halfway there.
That was a bit of a costly delay though, as they do lose about half the HP on their tier 3 down bot. So that's going to be fairly easy for NiP to finish up later on. But the BKBs might make it so that it's going to be harder for NiP to find a space to go back there.
Waze, going to find Tavo. Not getting very lucky with those ensnares though. The Surge will allow Tavo to just get out of there pretty safely. And now Misery will join him. They're going to try and go for a bit of a gank attempt here onto Ace, and Misery does get one tick off on the Avalanche. Ace, though, with those phase boots, does manage to run out in time, and again, it would have been a very, very valuable pick if they'd found it, but unfortunately for them, just a bit of mispositioning means they will not get the full Avalanche off.
Yeah, again, rather unfortunate, and Chaos, they are trying to find these kills. As you mentioned, they're trying to find the kills on Ace, they're trying to find the kills on 33. It's just not successful yet. And if this game goes late, Mike, you're playing late game against a Lone Druid and a Troll. And a Lina who can scale as well, even as a support. And a Sand King who's always going to be relevant and gets super tanky as the game goes on. It's a bit worrisome for Chaos. It's of course it's just a 2k net worth lead so far for NiP, 7-13. We're still 22 minutes in. But just the pacing of this game is definitely favoring NiP much more.
It's going to be rather concerning as well, because now Rod of Atos is going to be up on Saxa. There is an Ethereal Blade, excuse me, just the Ghost Scepter coming out onto 33 very soon, so the ability to take him out really isn't going to be there, it seems. I mean, your main damage dealers are going to be the Ursa and TA. If they can't hit the man, it's rather hard to take him down, let alone the Spirit Bear. On the brighter side though, Weeha, he does now have that full BKB up. Roshan will respawn in about 2.5 minutes from now, and it looks like both teams are going to start setting up for that as well. This could be the engagement they really want to get involved in. They do smoke up. Who goes in first, though? Ace moves forward. There is a bit of a loop around here from Weeha and Misery. Ace does have backup, though. Peter just waiting in the smoke. In fact, both teams are pretty much doing the exact same thing right now. Great minds think alike, I suppose. Oh. Now a glimpse will be there, although Weeha is going to make the chase. PPD will end up going down. Meanwhile, the mid lane, they end up losing the tier 1 tower on the side of Chaos Esports, though 33, that was slowed down by the TA trap. False Promise comes out, HFN straight onto the bear, though there's that Ghost Scepter coming into play. Now Weeha, who's he aiming for? He's going after Saxa on that Lina, but it looks like the vacuum will actually cancel the TP off, and Saxa should end up dying here eventually, though no, Laguna will come out. He does lose his life. Now HFN, though, is falling very, very low to Ace. Just heroes dying all over the place. Misery will be the next to go. Ace, who's he aiming for? It is going to be Tavo. They have got the root there, though, on the Oracle, and they'll lose King RD. Now Tavo will be the next to fall. And it looks like this is all NiP's team fight.
It looked like a pretty bad engagement for NiP at first, losing PPD that fast, but I guess at this point, again, PPD's really... he doesn't mind, alright? He managed to drop the Static Storm to buy some time as well, which probably caused a slightly late reaction from Weeha in the later half of that engagement, which bought enough time for NiP to recoup their losses and really find the kills they need, which does mean that they are pretty much set up for the next Roche as well.
Barra Strike will set up onto HFN, and now Ace slows him down. HFN nowhere to go. He'll BKB up and try to man-fight this, though. Ace with the Manta being very frustrating. It's not going to be enough, though. Misery is there with the Avalanche. Meanwhile, Weeha, he found PPD. Epicenter will come out from Fada, and that'll take down the refraction charges, though King RD will have the false promise. Now the bear just hitting up on King RD, doing a lot of damage. Vac will be there, but at the very least, you're going to lose this Oracle, it seems. Fada still trying to chase Misery. He won't be able to find him, and it'll end up just being a support for a support trade coming out from either side.
Yeah, a lot of topsy-turvy there. Did feel like they should have gotten that kill onto HFN, but you know, they were a bit split in focus, and that does cost them the Ursa kill. But they are pushing, they've pushed Chaos right off the area where they need to be to contest this Roche.
Ulfada, he ends up finding Tavo, has the Surge and will use it in time, though there's the Rod of Atos coming out. The wall being dropped, now a nice back as well. Misery, he gets in there with the Avalanche. It's not going to be nearly enough, though, it seems. Tavo is still falling and will end up going down. Meanwhile, HFN was trapped in the kinetic field. They won't go for him quite yet. In fact, no, they do get the glimpse off, but they may work against them right now because HFN does BKB up and wants to take a fight. He's chasing Saxa. Saxa will end up losing his life. HFN, how much more work can he get done? It looks like he won't be able to get much more done. Ace does end up bursting him down with the right clicks. King RD has to be very careful not to get too much further. But it looks like NiP are here to claim this tier 2 tower now.
Should be a fairly straightforward push. Not really much of a defense coming out without that wall. And after this tier 2, they really can start transitioning to that Roche pit. Granted, they still don't have Epicenter. It's going to be up, though. It's a very short time left.
Nice little Avalanche toss there. Coming out from Misery, but definitely wasn't going to be enough damage onto Ace to actually find the kill. Of course, the Roshan should be the next play for NiP. Ursa still going to be down for the next 10 seconds, but it does appear nobody's really scouted out that Roshan apart from Chaos, who do have, of course, the TA traps to keep vision on the pit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
NiP, they may reinitiate here up at the top lane. Ace did just pick up his full BKB now, so he's just bringing it out on the courier. HFN thinking about jumping onto Ace. Thinks better of it. And it does look like NiP are going to go straight into that Roshan pit. Of course, this is the much smarter play from their part. Though no, they back off now. Perhaps baiting the side of Chaos. They know a trap must have been in that pit. Smokes are there from Chaos, so they look at this. They wrap around HFN. They didn't get the stun off, however, but there's the slow. Now Misery, Avalanche Toss is straight onto Saxa, and the vac wall is there. He's falling rather low. Weeha cleans him up. Who does he go for next, however? Looks like Ace is going to chase King RD. Meanwhile, Weeha trying to fight 33, and it looks like they should be able to find this Spirit Bear. Surely. He gets a double damage, but they will end up taking the bear down in the end. Now Misery, again, a nice Avalanche Toss coming out onto Fada. Sandstorm will be there, but it won't help the cause. Weeha is still making the chase. In fact, he may change his mind and go for Ace instead, but no, there's the Static Storm coming out. The fight continues to go on. Ace gets lucky with the ensnares, and, well, the Enrage keeps HFN alive for the moment. Glimpse was there onto Weeha, but they would have assumed that the Ursa would have been down, and it looks like PPD will lose his life because of that Glimpse. Weeha now with a nice blink to Juke, though it looks like they wanted Misery anyway, and they will settle for the tiny kill instead.
That's a pretty messy fight coming out from NiP, I have to say. Again, just not managing to find the targets they want immediately, but really good targeting from Chaos coming out there.
Burrow Strike is there to set up for Fada, though. BKB immediately from Weeha, and he will find a pick. Ace, again, not getting lucky with those ensnares, and now they have to get the hell out of there because HFN looking to get aggressive on that Spirit Bear. It was just respawned up by 33, so if they can find it a second time, it would mean a lot to the side of Chaos, and it looks like they will. Another 300 gold going to HFN, but more importantly, you know for at least the next 2 minutes, that bear is not going to be available.
Yeah,
in fact,
cooldown is down to about 40 seconds though, so it's going to be up relatively quickly. That is still time where 323 can't farm as fast and really can't do too much, so that does open up a few possibilities for Chaos, mainly trying to go for this Roche again.
Light Strike Array will connect onto Misery. Glimpse is there on the Ursa. Both teams just kind of taking warning shots at each other. Weeha will get started on the Roshan, and NiP of course know about this, but they are missing a Sand King right now. Ace thinks about going in with the Battle Trance. They are going to go in onto Tavo. Static Storm was committed, though the Roshan is falling very low and is going to be claimed here from Chaos. They don't find Tavo either. Now Misery jumps in and gets a toss off onto Saxa. They will find that first kill. Epicenter is there, but not going to do too much. And there's the vac wall. He found 2 of them. Isn't going to do anything, however. Ace is still relatively healthy. Fada, he'll go back in after HFN. The Misery jumps in and again sets up with the Avalanche Toss. It's not going to be quite enough, but they are going to find that Spirit Bear. And who's the Glimpse back on? It is going to be on HFN, but 33 is just a sitting bear right now, and he does end up losing that mega kill streak he did have. And suddenly, Chaos Esports are in control of this game.
Yeah, just the gold advantage of NiP swinging away from just that one fight. Less than 1k now left for the advantage of NiP, and that's one issue when you put all your eggs in one hero. Something like 223 right now. Just once you lose him, you're going to bleed a lot of it back. And that does open a lot of push coming out for Chaos. They still have the Aegis available on HFN as well, so I don't see them backing off anytime soon.
Well, there's no buyback available on 33 either. HFN jumps in, but a nice kinetic field was already there by PPD. Misery, though, again, Avalanche Toss setting up for his team, and Fada is dead. No buyback available on the Sand King either. This is looking super bad now for NiP. Can they hold on? Looks like there will be a split push. Ace, he's going to try and force them back. He could just take a tier 3 tower by himself right now, and in fact, nobody's TPing quite yet. They are going to settle for that mid-Rax. Nice little Light Strike Array. Meanwhile, Misery does TP back, but Ace does not plan to back off anytime soon. Light Strike Array again delaying the Rax is being taken. Now Kinetic Field forcing out the BKB so the Ursa could run away, but a glimpse. It will be on King RD. Meanwhile, HFN though reinitiates and they get PPD and Saxa at the same time. Vac is alright. The root will be there on 33, but do they have the damage or the follow-up? It looks like they won't quite yet, but Ace can't really help out his teammate, and 33 is starting to fall relatively low. Weeha jumps in on him as well. There's no dieback available on this bear, and he's gone. Chaos Esports just making one massive push all the way through. They should be able to claim at least a secondary tier 3 here. They must know the buyback's not available on that lone druid.
Yeah, this gives a lot of control back to Chaos, right? They we were mentioning that they are tempo-oriented. They found their tempo fairly late in, but this is still around the area of their power spike. They were never really too far behind. To the
Fada.
point where it was completely worrying.
Double Burrow Strike. False Promise was there, and again PPD just melts. Ace will be able to back off, it seems, though. HFN going after Saxa. He's in a bit of an awkward spot and does lose the Aegis. Nice vac is there, and Saxa is falling rather low to King RD. Purifying Flames would get the job done, but Weeha will finish it with his own right click. Now Tavo gets ensnared up. Looks like Ace will be able to claim one. Nice Burrow Strike is there from Fada. Weeha will eat the cheese and will be back up to full HP. And HFN just going to see if he can make his way out. In fact, he's going to reinitiate right now. Misery jumps in as well, but that was a risky play. He's still alive though, HFN, with that in range, just keeping him there, but no, he does end up going down. Misery now will get diffused up. Ace should be able to finish the kill with that Purge, and does find it. That was, I mean, look, I can understand why they'd reinitiate like that, John, but that was a very risky play, and I suppose if they had found the kills they wanted, they may have been able to just finish the game or force out the GG, but they would have given a lot of gold away with those kills they just gave away.
Yeah, for sure. They were going for the jugular there, but they end up cutting themselves instead. A bit of it's a small mistake, but a mistake you can understand making. With, you know, it is game 3. You kind of want to close it out as fast as you can. Chaos's draft does have a bit of a timer as well. You're reaching the point where Weeha's BKB is down to 5 seconds. You know, your magic community is starting to fade off. The Ursa will start to taper off as well. And you will start to see NiP's course just get bigger and bigger. I mean, Ace right now is doing so much work. He managed to take out that tier 2 down bot. He managed to put that Rax down to half HP all by himself. And that's just one hero. Imagine if everyone was in on that push.
The comeback potential is certainly there from NiP, and Chaos, again, do have to be very wary of how much they do give away. One bad team fight could end both teams' games at this point. Ace looks like he's going to go ahead and pick up an Eye of Skadi for himself, though he's going to use all his gold for this last point booster. Man is basically 6-slotted at this point. Chaos Esports, they will make their way outside of their base, just trying to loop around through that mid lane. Looks like Weeha's just trying to focus on finishing up a Daedalus for himself and having that raw DPS available for his team. And NiP, feels like both teams are just kind of dancing around each other right now. The NiP do make their way close to that mid lane. Chaos Esports, they back off into their jungle and again, just try to secure some farm for themselves.
Yeah, we're at the perilous part of the game. One mistake could cost either team the game here. So both teams are kind of playing a bit safe, sticking as 5, walking around, clearing camps together, forcing out the wave together. Because one misstep, and you're suddenly caught with naked base, possibly. Possibly even your tier 4's just going down and the Ancient being exposed.
Well, NiP, they will claim that bottom rack, or bottom shrine, excuse me, for themselves. Of course, at this point of the game, you do have the ability to just split push with the Spirit Bear, and that's exactly what 33's been doing at the top lane. Though they may find it out this time. The Urn does get put on the Bear. They don't really have a way to cancel the note. The Vacuum will come out in time, and now they are going to make the chase. That'll be another Bear going down. I believe he can just get another one up, and he already has. So 33, not going to be too bothered by that, but that does give a bit of gold away to Chaos. That will allow HNF to actually find himself that final MKB that he needed. Top lane, Misery. Gonna get caught out. Really doesn't want to die like this. 4-star will be there, but Ace does have the Eye of Skadi to slow. Luckily though for Chaos, they do have the buyback available on the Tiny.
Yeah, still not the best loss to take at this point. That does open up the map just a bit more, gives NiP a bit more confidence to clear out these camps, and, you know, further cement themselves in. 7k network lead so far. If they manage to grow that gap any bigger, it's going to be really hard to control, you know, the course coming out here. The LD is starting to look really scary. He can start expanding into his own itemization instead of the bears after this Basher's out onto the bear. It's going to be a bit hard to really deal with. if you can get that much gear going on 3v3.
NiP closing the distance here. Chaos, they do take the high ground for themselves, though it looks like they want to initiate, and they do. The Burrow Strike was there, straight onto Tavo. Now the Fear as well. They're just trying to burst this Darkseid down, but the False Promise is there in time. PPD has been lost. Weeha is being chased down, but did commit the BKB and is making a run for it. Fada's life has also been taken by the side of Chaos Esports. Now Light Strike Array, they're trying to burst down. Misery on the Tiny. He force-stuffs himself out and may make it out. The smoke was there as well, but it won't be quite enough. That is one at the very least, but the buyback was there, and now the vac back into the wall. HFN, he can't go through that kinetic field, and the Static Storm was also dropped by PPD. Though HFN is going to continue this chase. Another kinetic field blocking this Ursa in. The PPD, that's a dieback on him. Not the greatest of news, and now Ace, BKB's up and pops the Battle Trance, and it's doing a lot of damage here to Weeha. He will be able to burst him down, though the buyback is there from the TA. Ace, does he want to go for more? It looks like they're just happy with the buyback being forced out. Saksa, though, may not be so lucky, and he is dead. Still a great engagement here for the side of Chaos Esports. And this could be what they needed to go for that secondary racks.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice, fair trade for them. They do expend buybacks, but they've taken out PPD's buyback at the very least. No buyback available for Tata as well, although he should have the gold in just a bit. Managed to should probably get that through passive gold, and that does give them a little bit of a chance to get a push going for themselves. Gives them a bit control back in. They certainly can't go for that bot lane, as the tier 1 is still up, but they will be able to at least clear out these shrines, give themselves a little bit more room to walk around in.
You look at Ace down at the bot lane, just basically pushing it out, trying to force them back to defend. It looks like all Chaos really want is the Roshan, and it is about to respawn. Weeha already set up for it, does get the Meld Strike off. And NiP aren't in a position to actually go and counter this. And I don't believe they're actually going to make it either, because it's going down way too fast right now. That'll be a Refresher Shard going to whoever really wants it, and it looks like Misery will hold on for the time being. But it does allow the double war, the double vac. Of course, you do have the False Promise that you can use the second time if you wish to give it to the Oracle as well. So plenty of options here for Chaos, but I imagine it will go to the Darkseer in the end.
Yeah, you're probably going to get the most utility from it on Tavo. Just having that double ball, double vac is going to be really pivotal. Those illusions hit really hard at this point in game fight. The Troll Warlord's just so farmed up that the damage they'll be pumping out is significant. Enough to probably turn the team fights. So you're probably going to want it on Tavo. You want to make sure Tavo does not get jumped first as well. You want this guy to be alive to be your counter, or just straight up your initiation.
Well, the smoke will come out. Chaos looking to be aggressive. Ace was spotted out, but is within safety for the moment. His team are just behind him. Traps, again, scouting out this troll, though Ace is waiting for them to initiate. He doesn't seem worried at all. HFN, meanwhile, looping around the back. Fada will jump in. Burrow Strike was missed, however, and HFN looks to burst him down. Static Storm was dropped, but it's not going to be enough. The Sand King is lost. He will buy back immediately, though. Now Weeha, he fell very low, but he somehow managed to survive, and the Vac War is absolutely massive from Tavo. Though, is it going to be enough for Chaos? It looks like NiP are going to win out regardless. Aegis will be expended. Tavo just being secured right now by Ace and Sarkster, and looks like his life is going to be forfeit. They are chasing more in the mid lane. Misery is being chased right now by Fada on that Sand King, who again did end up buying back throughout all this. Fada not giving up on the chase quite yet, though Burrow Strike is on cooldown and he does get tossed back. Meanwhile, Weeha actually taking down PPD, who was remaining just on the high ground next to that mid tower. But it looks like Ace is going to go straight down to the bot lane where he wants to secure racks for his team. It will be fortified, and the buyback will be forced out by Tavo. Or, excuse me, will be forced out for Tavo. Avalanche is there. Rod of Atos is nice, though, from Sarksa with the follow-up stun. Again, this isn't going to be an easy Rax to take, but it's probably the best chance they've had in a while. HFN can't buy back, and Weeha wasn't even around the area. He was hunting for something else. He does now show himself in that top lane. Unfortunately for NiP, however, they will not get any Raxes out of this.
Yeah, that's the key takeaway here for Chaos. They managed to still successfully defend their high ground despite losing their Ursa with no buyback. They are still in a good place to be at. Net worth is still at 8k advantage for NiP, but at around 43 minutes in, that's pretty much irrelevant, and most of that is hanging on Ace, and there's only so much more he can itemize, just giving himself a Moonshard now, and that's basically it, unless he wants to play around with his boots. That's as much as you're probably going to see from Ace at this point in the game.
Both teams again in such a close game number 3. 28-31. 7k net worth lead is there for NiP. Weeha can't afford to get caught out, though he does blink out in time. Tavo thinking about going for the vac wall right now. The light strike away will actually connect an Ace. Thinking about it. Kinetic field was there, but the force stuff was just a bit faster from the side of Chaos. Looks like NiP will dissipate for the moment and just get back to farm. You know, John, one thing we haven't done quite yet is looked up the Dota Plus win probability, and it is actually very, very close. Currently 51% the way of NiP. 51.
I mean, there are certainly ways for Chaos to really still bounce back in. They're not out of it just yet. You still have some power left in Weeha. He hits like a truck. He has that Daedalus up. Gonna be going for the Hurricane Pike next to kind of improve his force staff, but he does have ways of dealing with these heroes. The Ursa is still pretty strong as well, as long as he can get the jump and the Abyssal Blade off on someone. That could most certainly be a near guaranteed kill for him as well. So you have all these options available. You have some good teamfight coming out with Tavo's illusions as well, as long as he lands that back wall. They're still in the game. It's just right now NiP is definitely a bit in front, but one misstep for NiP and that's just gone.
Bot lane again, just being pushed in here by the creeps of the Dire, but no heroes around to really force that in a bit more. Ace now going to show himself mid lane. So Chaos probably going to assume that's a bait and will not actually bite the bait. Ace was actually quite alone though, so that was a nice little opportunity they would have had.
We've reached a point in the game where both sides are on the cusp of winning, really, but both sides are also on the cusp of losing. Just one big team fight breaking out, the buybacks coming in, and if those buybacks don't pay off, you're just gonna lose your objectives. That's it. So both sides are kind of patient. Neither side really wants to be in the losing position here, of course, which means that they will just be doing this for as long as possible, just walking around, farming his 5, maybe at least until the Roshan's up. That's for sure when we're going to see, at the latest, the next engagement. If they don't, force a fight soon, the Rosh is probably when we're going to see it next, because that's going to be pivotal for both teams. Again, that refresh shard was pivotal in that last team fight for Chaos. That's what kept them in that fight, really, just that double wall, double vac.
Oh, Tavo doesn't know Ace is behind him right now, and he will get caught out. Light strike away is there, and that should be enough. In fact, no. Guardian Greaves will save the day for the moment. Now the vac as well as the wall, and they've actually lost PPD immediately to Weeha. Ace going to try and go after the TA. The disarm is there thanks to the Heaven's Halberd, and that will delay things just a bit. And now the bash. HFN, he had an Abyssal Blade up and will commit it immediately. Sarksa going to be the next one to fall. That is 3 down for NiP. It felt like that was going to be an easy kill onto Tavo, but they just couldn't deal the damage in time.
He is really tanky. He has the Guardian Greaves up, he has that Crimson Guard up. He's not the easiest hero to burst down anymore, and jumping a tanky hero like that is going to be costly if you don't wipe him out. PPD that time didn't commit the Static Storm as well before he got taken out by Weeha, which is probably one of the biggest factors in that fight. Because for the most part, PPD has managed to drop that Static Storm before dying, which is really all you want from your Disruptor at this point in the game. If he's going to get bursted down anyway, at the very least, dropping your ult does help your team a fair bit. But with those series of deaths, it just means that Chaos can figure out this last set of outer towers for NiP, and that does shrink the map down just a bit more for them.
Indeed, that will. The last outer tower now for NiP will go down at the 47-minute mark. And it looks like they'll happily back off for the moment. We've gotten that late into the game now that Misery actually has an Ethereal Blade up on the Tiny. So a nice little transition for him. He'll be able to dish out a lot more DPS with that. So the Roshan will also be up in just above 2 minutes. And that Rosh, again, going to play a vital part for both these sides in trying to finish this game off. NiP do look like they're on the back foot. Like, you look at the net worth, and it's only 1k the way of Chaos Esports, but in terms of momentum and team fight, in fact, it's about to start right now. HFN, he'll get caught out. His team not backing him up quite yet, but there's the false promise. Now they'll go onto the Tiny instead, and it looks like they should be able to burst him with the 4-stuff, keeping him alive. Meanwhile, Weeha, he ends up getting PPD in the back, though they are trying to control him. HFN, he'll jump in straight onto Fada, and they should be able to get him as well, and they do. But Weeha just hitting so darn hard, and that is a very awkward pause timing. I'm not sure what the problem is, but am I missing something, John? They're pinging something, I feel like, but I can't see what the problem is. It's probably a technical issue.
Could have been, yeah. That's really unfortunate, though.
Weeha losing a lot of HP, actually going to end up falling here to Ace. Now it looks like Tavo will be the next to fall. No buyback available on Tavo. They do end up getting Sarks at the very least, but King RD going to lose his own life now. Does have a buyback on the Oracle. That team fight looked like it was going pretty well for them, but unfortunately just after that pause, it just felt like they just fell apart.
Yeah, really unfortunate timing, and that did come out from Chaos' side as well, so not sure what happened there, but it definitely cost them that exchange. No buyback on their Darkseer. Granted, it doesn't look like NiP is in any position to maximize that, as they also have 2 heroes down. So it looks like we will just settle for a bit of a farm fest here for a bit, just to make sure they have enough gold for whatever else they want. At the very least, enough gold for the buybacks to come back online, and just kind of slow the game down just a bit. Again, that Roche is probably going to be the next key timing here. It is going to be up in about 25 seconds. The main issue is that Chaos will definitely know it's up, whereas NiP will have to check themselves.
We do hit that 50-minute mark now, and those bounty runes starting to pay a lot of gold. Not that either side really needs it anyway, because everyone's getting to that point where they're 6 slotted. Except PPD, who remains in that position 6 form. Does not buy any items for himself, just the boots. We'll have some sentry wards, that's all the man needs. Of course, pretty much the same story for King RD, although at the very least he has a Ghost Scepter and 4 staff, as well as the Spirit Vessel, so he's a bit better off as the support Oracle.
He does get his gold talent a bit earlier as well, the Oracle. I mean, he has hit that level 20, whereas PPD, because he's dead at the start of every team fight, has not managed to hit that luxury, not hitting his pivotal 180 gold talent. So that is going to be costly. I feel like if PPD had his level 20 earlier on, he would have had the gold possibly for something like an Aghanim's up at this time, which would definitely turn the team fights to NiP's favor every time it would land.
Well, he is a very selfless support, and this is pretty much his standard playstyle. He just ensures the rest of his team is getting exactly what they need, and really just sacrifices his own farm and own levels for that matter. Ace, he will go ahead and pick up a Satanic now. The Roshan getting started. In fact, no, they were going after the bear. BKB will be there, and Misery copying a lot of damage. War being dropped. No vac quite yet. It looks like they'll focus onto Tavo instead. The Fate's Edict will save him for the moment. Now they jump in straight after Ace. Can they burst him? The answer is probably. HFN doing a lot of damage. Gets the Abyssal as well. And it looks like, no, they won't get him yet. Ace, he survives somehow. Now the Epicenter comes down. It's not doing that much. And Ace, he pops the Satanic. I don't even know how the hell he's still alive throughout all this. He will find HFN. Weeha, he's trying to go after the backlines, but Saksa had the Ghost Scepter. Misery, he'll jump back in. in with the Avalanche, but now he's a sitting duck and Fada. He'll find the double Burrow Strike. The AoE Surge, though, coming out. Fada will get rooted. HFN jumps back in with the double Light Strike Array, and now Ace will get started again. Enrage will be there. The disarm on Ace. They'll reinitiate the bear now. It's on the TA. They found Saksa. They'll take him out. 33's gone as well as PPD. King RD is being chased by Ace, but it looks like Ace might be the one that's actually in trouble. In fact, he is, and he is going to end up losing his life, though he does have buyback available.
It's going to be a really hard defense here for NiP. Just going up 3 against 5.
Meanwhile, bot lane, the Raxes have been taken. Raxes were taken bot lane, I think just by the creep wave, John. And they're pushing into the tier 4 towers. That is a massive stack.
They're not coming back in to defend.
They are going after the Roshan. They will get it. That tier 4, though, the poor tier 4, just getting massacred right now. Misery, gonna enjoy that gold. Probably got almost 1,000 gold out of that. And somehow, the net worth advantage is still only 1k the way of Chaos. Though on the bright side for them, they do have the Aegis, they have the Refresher Shard, and they have a cheese now available.
Yeah, all those tools will make this next team fight really tricky for NiP. Their targeting has to be absolutely on point. They should be able to... They really have to burst down a key hero here, I'd say. Finding the Dark Seer would be pretty big. That just takes away their team fight entirely. But he's not easy to kill anymore. We've seen it time and time again. Tavo just lives through the initiation. So who do you go for next? Maybe you can jump HFN before he pops any of his spells. He doesn't have the Agnes as well to make sure he can pop that in Rage. So he is susceptible to being jumped. But, you know, they still have the Oracle back there to save him. King RD has been doing that quite well as well.
Well, I believe that's
getting harder.
I believe that's the main target they need to focus on, John. King RD just continuously throwing out the Force Staffs and the False Promises and saving his teammates every single time. You could probably make... Like, these team fights, they're just so extended. And a lot of that would just be down to this Oracle pick. Chaos, they're setting up for a high ground push, but they're just waiting for someone to overextend here on the side of NiP. The NiP is not budging. They will remain on that high ground until it's safe to go down. It's about that time to look up that probability graph, and suddenly Chaos is ahead by 68%. In fact, make that 69% now. 31% to the side of NiP, but considering the draft that they have, it's quite miraculous that they've held on this long and have found themselves in the lead 54 minutes in.
One major issue for NiP is, again, in these team fights, the Darkseer, the fact that you can't kill him off, the fact that you can't kill RD off because he's too far behind, does mean that, you know, your cores on NiP hit hard. They are pretty much 6-7 slotted at this point. But Darkseer can work that against you, and the amount of control that Chaos still has as well, now that all the BKBs have shrunk down to 5 seconds, is pretty massive. So it's getting really hard for NiP to find that opening, find heroes to burst down. Chaos is not giving them that space. They're not deep clumping at all. They're just sticking his 5. They stick King RD to the back. They always make sure he's alive, or at least he's not the center of attention, even when he should be, because he has just been a real annoyance for NiP to deal with, just stopping all these instant kills, stopping the initiation from NiP, and just making sure that they really don't get anything. Contrast that to Chaos. They jump in, they take out PPD immediately. Every single time. PPD just can't do anything. Drops the Static Storm, but without that Ags at this point in the game, it's still good, but it doesn't stop as much as you'd want. So it's starting to be a bit worrisome for NiP. I feel like your farm distribution has to shift a bit. You have to start giving space to your lesser farmed supports, particularly PPD. Just find a way for this guy to build up a bit more. His Static Storm is going to be pivotal in these team fights.
Well, he has hit level 20 now, so he does get the 180 gold talent up. And it's just a matter of whether they can buy enough time for him to perhaps farm up that Aghanim Scepter. It's going to take a bit of time because we are waiting on passive gold for him, but we are almost an hour into the game, so I wouldn't be too surprised if this game keeps going even longer. And it has been a pretty fantastic game at that as well, so I can't really complain. Though it does look like Chaos perhaps need to push quite soon, because that Aegis is about to wear off. Still, though, not finding the opening they wanted. They're going to start making their way up to that top lane where the Raxes are exposed. HFN going to be on the front lines here. Does have the refresher shot on him as well. Burrow Strike will be there from Fada. They're just trying to keep him stunned up. Disarm as well. Of course, those Heaven's Halberds do come in handy quite a bit. Again, NiP just trying to delay this as long as they can, though. HFN about to take that range Rax, and almost does, but almost loses his life in the process. And somehow it's left standing at 31 HP. We are going to run in and take it out, and then we'll blink out. So it looks like they're just going to be happy with that. I mean, you saw how dangerous it was trying to go for that Rax, even with the Aegis. And so they'll take it, and they'll back off. And as they do that, about 10 seconds later, the Aegis does end up expiring.
Yeah, great call from Chaos there, just not risking it with that Aegis. They do manage to take out the Dark Courier as well. That's going to be bigger. That's going to be a bigger issue for NiP, as that just means they can't pick up any items they really need to start coming in here. That was pretty much the Aghanims of 33.
Yeah.
It had the point booster.
Yeah, it was just the point booster, but yeah, he could have brought out the full Ags had he gotten that. That'll be another 2.5 minutes without that Aghanim Scepter. HFN will jump in by himself, goes after the tier 3 tower. Disarms are there, and they force out a BKB as well. Looks like that'll be the end of that. He'll have to at least wait out the BKB to be available again before he wants to make another play. Ace just casually has 4.5k almost in his in the account. It's kind of like, what do you even buy now if you're Ace? He's pretty much as far as he wants to be on the troll.
You could possibly throw away the Diffusal at this point for something like a, I don't know, a Daedalus, if you'd wish. That's pretty much the only thing I can see you taking out. You do lose the utility of that, though. Like, you're going to lose that Inhibit, which is going to be a bit of a rough time. But I think at this point, it's justifiable. You really need a way to deal with that back line. You need a way to burst the hero down fast, and it's not coming out for NiP. They don't have anything like the TA from Mihawk. Just nothing that can go in, rip out one hero, and force a 4v5. Ace is the closest thing they have, but the damage doesn't feel like it's there.
How long would this game have to go on for before you saw someone like Ace decide he's just going for the Rapier instead?
I feel like it really
Is it even
depends,
going to help?
Because on a hero like Troll, it's probably not the best, to be frank with you. He can stay alive for a long time with Battle Trance and that Satanic, so it could make a big difference in these team fights. I don't know. It doesn't strike me as an all-out game winner, not like if you saw it on a Medusa, not on a Gyro, or even something like a Sniper or something wacky like that. The Troll just feels like at this point rather limited. They have ways of controlling Ace quite hard.
Mid lane, Vac is there. Who have they caught out? It is the Troll. Ace is in trouble, but he committed that Battle Trance immediately with the BKB. Has the Satanic available as well. Hasn't popped it quite yet. Now Misery going straight after PPD in the back, and they will burst him down. Ace, he goes down as well. Buybacks are available on both. They'll be back into the team fight immediately, though. Now 33 is losing his life, and he really can't afford this. Laguna, though, will come out straight onto King RD, but he's still alive throughout all this. 33's gone, and he'll buy back immediately, though they have lost Saksa, and he does not have buyback. Now Fada, he has one buyback left as well, though the Vac is there, and this could be GG. PPD, it's a dieback on the Disruptor. 3 heroes left for the side of NiP. Ace gets jumped on. HFN really wants to burst him down one final time, though Fada jumps in. They're trying to hold HFN down. Ace just man-fighting him back. Who's going to win this man-fight, actually? It will be Ace in the end, though the buyback comes out, and a dieback is there on the Troll. And with that, Fada, a triple Burrow Strike with the Epicenter, but it's all over. GG has been called 61.5 minutes into this game number 3. Chaos Esports. They weren't the favourites, John, but they do pull it off. A surprise victory for their first series in the group stage. And a fantastic one at that.
Definitely so. It looked like a really rocky game one with how that ended up for Chaos, but they bounced back on their feet quite hard in game two. And in game three, man, they just showed us what they can do when both these teams are playing at their best. Chaos just manages to sidestep NiP and make use of those small mistakes that came out, managing to snag themselves